Hey guys, so right now we're going to be covering what I think is one of the most important parts of preparing for an event, your base layers. These are going to be your uniform items and the layers you're going to be wearing directly against your skin. Things you want to avoid are cotton. You don't want to wear cotton. Why? Because cotton soaks up moisture. Why is soaking up moisture bad? Because that moisture is going to be against your skin. As you're running and gunning, you're going to be sweating more. Once the temperature drops when it comes to nighttime, you're going to find yourself very cold. It's going to lower your core body temperature. It's a level of misery that you can avoid. All right? So you want to make your base layers some sort of sweat-wicking material. Obviously, Under Armour is very good at that. I have here some Under Armour briefs. I wear these to events because it keeps that moisture moving away from my crotch, and I don't chafe because chafing sucks, and it's just going to make a shitty event even shittier. Same thing. I wear an Under Armour base layer shirt. Same concept. It's just going to move that moisture away from your body. It's going to keep you cooler, and I usually bring about two or three of these, depending on the length of the event, because I can switch them out as they soak up too much moisture. Socks are a big part. Tailor your footwear to the environment that you're going to be operating in. I have here some large wool. These are cold weather socks. These are going to be bigger than your normal hot weather sock, so take into account your shoe size. You might have to go about a half size bigger to accommodate for the thickness of these. These are going to keep your feet warm. They're also sweat wicking, so you know, as that moisture builds up, you'll be able to change your socks. I always bring at least 2 pairs of socks with me to an event. Depending on the event, I might bring 3. All right, and I change my socks at intervals so that my feet stay dry. All right, that's the biggest thing that ruins a player's experience, is their feet start to hurt, they start getting blisters, and you know, some dudes get athlete's foot or something because they're not wearing proper socks. Maybe they're wearing cotton socks, and all that moisture is just going to play games with your feet, and it's going to mess them up. Here we have a hot weather sock. This is a thinner sock, but it's still sweat wicking. I wear these in conjunction with a ventilated shoe. Here I have the Merrell Moab ventilators. These are my hot weather shoe of choice because they allow air to circulate, and in conjunction with these, I'm going to be a lot more comfortable than if I was wearing, you know, just some regular ankle socks, something like that. For cold weather, I usually wear some Solomon boots. They have a Gore-Tex lining. They're waterproof. They're going to keep my feet warmer, and they're going to keep that moisture out if I'm moving through puddles or low water, something like that. I've got my combat uniform. It's the same concept as the Under Armour. This is a dry fire uniform. What it does is it has a microbial sweat-wicking base layer. This stuff is great. It's very soft, and it's going to move that moisture that as you sweat, it's going to collect it. It's going to move it away from your skin, so you're not sweating profusely. A lot of guys like to wear, you know, Cry Precision, True Spec. You know, there's dozens of manufacturers. The thing you want to look at is you want to get a comfortable uniform, preferably sweat wicking, that is comfortable for you and it fits correctly. Nothing is worse than you go buy a surplus pair of pants at the Army Navy store and you take that first knee and your crotch rips. All right, nobody wants to see that. You don't want to be embarrassed that way. So invest in a quality uniform. You can get dry fires. Some of the guys on Raptor 1 like to wear the Cry Precision uniform, or even surplus BDUs if you're so inclined. Moving on, if you're in an environment where inclement weather, such as cold, really hot, rain, anything like that's going to happen, you want to prepare. You want to bring other inclement weather or cold weather gear. I always carry in my assault pack warming layers. Especially for our upcoming event, Op Viper Strike. The temperature is probably not going to be that high, and it's going to drop at night. So you'll see me, I'll have these warming layers in my pack, and as the temperature drops, I will put more layers on. Layering is a very important concept that you need to master if you're going to be playing these long events, because you're constantly going to be taking on and putting on layers. It's going to make you more effective. It's going to create a more comfortable experience for you. This is a Polar Tech fleece with a Polar Tech beanie. I've got my North Face gloves. These are thin. They still keep my hands warm, but still allow some dexterity so I can manipulate my weapon and use equipment. I've also got a grid fleece I wear this just underneath my combat top, on top of my Under Armour. This keeps me very warm, but it's also very thin, so you don't find yourself looking like the Michelin Man. Eye Pro is also very important. I always carry 2 sets of Eye Pro to any event I go to. I always operate under the assumption that one Eye Pro, may fail, it may break or something like that. I always carry a backup. If you don't carry backup Eye Pro and something happens where your Eye Pro becomes ineffective, you can't participate in the event anymore. That's money and time wasted. So always invest in good quality, impact rated Eye Pro. I use the Oakley M frames. These are very popular lately. They come with a helo kit that you can buy also from Oakley. This will create a full seal gasket. Most Milsim events now require full seal for insurance purposes. So if you want a low profile eyewear that you can still use with NVGs, I highly recommend these with a helo kit. I use Fog Tech wipes to keep fogging from happening. Some people use op drops. Find what works best for you. As a secondary eye pair, I keep ESS Turbo fans in my pack. These are thicker. They have a fan built into the top, which removes humid air out of the goggles and keeps all that hot air from building up on the lens, which causes fogging. I've also supplemented it with a thermal lens, which is dual pane. It just complements the fan great. These hardly ever fog. They are pricey, but they're worth it. For inclement weather like snow or rain, I always have a PCU set with me at all times. The Cove last year, Black Sheep Milsim, we got hit with a rainstorm right in the middle of the event. We were actually in a contact with troops. I had a small hide site set up, so I'm quickly had to don this PCU to not only keep myself from getting wet, but to keep my weapon from getting wet while shooting. It was crazy. So I always suggest that you keep inclement weather gear accessible and nearby, because rain can happen very quickly. You need to get that stuff on because nothing's worse than operating for 24 hours soaked to the bone and you don't have any dry clothes to change into. So always keep inclement weather gear nearby and accessible.
Yo, well on your market, get set. Can't forget the go. In case you didn't know, the flow is fat like Joe. Yo, you niggas didn't know that I'm back, man. You whack, man. I ain't a rapper like I'm Pac-Man. I figured they bring it straight from the cellar. Varela, packable hits the lupinella. I swallow, nigga in his eye. If he test me, you don't impress me. Yo, books kick the rest, G. One time for your mind. Hey, yo, what up? The crew bringing the ruckus, no doubt. We's the roughest dream team, reign supreme like a cutlass getting ducked. You can't touch the flow. It's me, the nigga with G, the B, double O, K, S. So say yes and bust your caliber when I pop shit and rock shit like